Wow! 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 Wow. Tommy fumbles. Timmy fumbles. Mr. Timmy has backed out of fighting Jake Paul. And now Tyrannosaurus Rex Woodley is back. Tommy Fury kind of lived up to the fumble's name. He did fumble this fight. I think obviously, making fun of him, the memes, all of that stuff, you go at it, you attack him, because they kind of deserve it. The Furies were talking a big talk. They were talking how, Tommy would fight with a broken rib, with a cold, and now he's out because he has a broken rib and a cold. I was very much looking forward to this fight because I never thought it was going to happen, and when it did, I was like, okay, Jake, okay. Promotion was terrible. The press conference only had Jake Paul, and it was cringe and boring. The next one was much better, but it had bad Wi-Fi. And the whole thing started off on a very weird note when Tommy had to go and fly back to the UK to take care of his mom, and then we found out Sugar Shane's not going to train him. The whole thing has just been a mess, convoluted. You could say suspicious, you could say sus, and then Jake Paul didn't do the VADA drug testing. He was doing drug testing, just not VADA, but that created a controversy. It's just not seemed like a very traditional nor a very well done lead up to a fight, and it just seemed like a bit of a mess overall. Now, Tommy put out a video where he said that he basically had this chest infection for a while, and I think this video might be the reason why his rib is broken, so that was kind of a bit of a stupid move on him. But I think the telltale signs were there in the second press conference when Tommy and Tyson both, and you could tell in their voices, were sick. And Tyson told a reporter that him and Tommy had broken ribs because of that video. So that's really on them. Why I think this was a smart idea for Tommy, why I don't think he's ducking, why I think we shouldn't be kind of centering this narrative on, oh, Tommy ducked and Tommy's scared and kind of giving into that, is because, yes, his older brother Tyson fought with very little time to train, a terrible training camp against Wilder for the third time, and he had broken chromosomes or something like that, and he couldn't use his jab properly or his arms. And Jake fought with the flu against Gibb. He fought with a broken nose against Nate. He fought with a hyperextended arm against Woodley. So what's Woodley's excuse? So what's Fury's excuse? Well, the thing is that Tyson, while he did not have a good camp and he had physical restraints, his lungs were fine, from what I can recall. Although he did have COVID, and then they had to cancel the fight, and everyone said that Tyson was ducking. Or maybe I just said that. And then obviously, with Jake, when it came to the flu, we don't know to the extent of what it was, but with Tommy, he has not only many a fractured rib and multiple fractures, but he has his lungs are the issue. He said that when he was sparring, he had a hard time breathing and he was throwing up, and just one good punch to his ribs and he was done for. So Tommy Fury was in no way fit to fight, and he was not 100% top of his game. What really distinguishes what Tommy has versus what Jake and Tyson has is that Tommy has lung issues, and that can be very dangerous in boxing, especially when it comes to the fights. I think Lopez had like a air in his chest or in his lungs, and he could have had a collapsed lung. Like, Tommy could have gotten seriously injured in this fight, and it could have led to a potential real medical issue for him down the line. And we all know that if Tommy lost to Jake Paul and he revealed this, everyone would instantly invalidate Jake's win, and we would have another Woodley controversy where Jake did beat a real boxer, but Tommy was not at 100% of his game, and he had a broken rib, and he had a chest infection, and if he did so badly, people would be like, see, we told you so, when he couldn't have never reached his potential because he was sick and he was physically disabled. So I think that all fans can agree that if Tommy did fight and we did get this revealed, y'all haters, and myself included, would definitely say, yes, Jake beat Tommy Fury, but he beat the worst possible version of Tommy Fury. I think Tommy Fury needs to be at the physical best in order to fight Jake Paul, and I'd rather wait to see Tommy Fury when he's 100% better from a physical standpoint than at a low standpoint, because we all know that it would be we could find a way to invalidate the win, and it would kind of take away from Jake Paul kind of doing the big thing that everybody's wanted him to do, and would really cement him in the boxing community, and that's being a pro boxer, especially a Fury pro boxer. So I think that Tommy pulling out was a smart move. I think that his type of medical condition is serious, and I do think it was a smart move for him to pull out. People still want to see Tommy Fury fight Jake Paul. There's still hype around it. I still want to see this fight. And hey, Jake, if you didn't duck Tommy back after you fought Ben Askren, you would have fought him back in August. So, bits on you. So, I mean, they both ducked each other, you could say, and you could make that argument. But I do think Jake should take this fight, because he won't get the validity and the respect until he fights a real pro boxer, specifically Timmy or Tommy Fumbles. I've pretty much raised the same points other YouTubers have. Make sure to like, sub, and comment. I will be giving you exclusive content every day, probably until the lead up, until the day of fight night, because the drama is only just getting started, and who knows what's going to happen in the next few days.